Okay, so today we have our AI agent running as an extension in VSCode. It is going to create an entire Spring Boot microservice from scratch, including tests and Swagger UI for testing. The original footage for this was about 20 minutes. It's been sped up because the GPT-4 API was slow this morning. This typically takes anywhere between 5 and 20 minutes to run, depending on load on the server. So what's important to understand here is this is created as a VS Code extension so that the AI agent has access to the same amount of information that a human software engineer would have. The large language model is not omniscient. It may be smart, it may be able to solve problems, but in order for it to do what you want it to do, it needs to have access to the same information that you would have to solve that same problem. And the code that you have produced is not in the large language model. So we provide a reference project that says, hey, we like to build microservices like this. So we've told the agent, hey, we want you to build a REST API with puppies and make it look like this other one that we've made. So all of the code is net new. There's no templates with placeholders or anything like that. It's just using those purely as a reference. It's being fed directly to it, along with the requirements, and then some individual instruction to prompt for each file here. So being an extension, it has access to the existing file structure as it builds it out. So it is aware of what files exist, where they're placed, how that package structure is laid out, and that helps ground it and make it consistent. It also has symbolic references to all of the classes that exist in the project, what package they're in, what methods exist on those classes, and what fields are available. So this means that when it's generating code, it is far more likely to compile than if you just told it to hope that it thinks about the problem the same way that it thought about it a different time. This generally will compile successfully the first time when providing it this amount of information. Frequently there's this sort of self-reflection thing that feeds into models that do things like this, but we don't need to do that. We can do that, and we will at some point, but giving it enough information allows it to succeed on the first attempt far more often. A couple things that are important here is the order of operations that we follow. We kind of go model, database schema, mapper, service with business logic, and then REST controller. That helps ground everything and produce it in a sane manner that reduces the cognitive burden on the large language model. This is the exact same way that I would teach a person to start writing a simple RESTful microservice. In this case, it's not doing very much. The requirements are simply manage puppies. And so you can see the tests here that it's creating are very simple. Create puppy, see if puppy exists, etc. Right? There is no additional business logic requested in this microservice, so it's solving the problem that it was given to the best of its ability. In just a second here, we're going to execute the unit tests. We have to reload the UI because the other VS Code extensions that manage all the Java and testing don't behave the best. So you can see kind of clicking around here. You see there's no button to run the unit tests. Reload the UI. The buttons still show up. We'll execute the test. They run pretty fast because they're not doing a lot. You can see account API there. That's the reference API that it was using to decide how to code this. So now we'll start the process. We'll show the Swagger UI. We're just going to go in. We're going to run the post request to create a puppy, and then we're going to run a get request to get the puppy just to prove that the persistence layer is working, and there's no errors in anything like that. The unit test should approve that, but the proof is really in the pudding, and so that's what we're doing here. So we name it Butch. We're going to make it a golden retriever, and then we're going to see it. This is pretty cool. Next week, we're going to work on user interfaces, so we'll be working with React projects and taking requirements and generating those. There you go. We can see there it is.